McCuskey, and I'm here with Mr. Joe Lawless, who's one of the candidates for the school committee election that's upcoming at the end of this week. So he's here for one of our 10 talks. You guys, if you're a frequent watcher, know the drill. We're going to ask some questions, get some answers, and then be on our way. So let's start off with an easy question. Why are you running for school committee?
For me, in business, I have a real passion for seeing people reach both like personal and professional goals. So I'd like to shift that passion towards the school district. I have 2 young children in the school, and I feel like if I can make a difference to bring better education for all the students in the community, I think that would be terrific. And I plan to look at facts and data and information to help guide our plans to build a better education.
Sounds good. And so what would your main focus be as a member on the committee?
With any organization or committee, I think the focus should always be on communication. And, for me, it'd really be on communication. I think, any great committee is going to be made up of people who listen, communicate, and execute plans. So, what I mean by that would be interacting with the community, listening to people, listening to students, listening to parents, communicating with the community on updates in the schools, and keeping all things in mind to make sure we're focused on doing what's best for the students.
Got it. So if you could only change one thing about the schools at this moment, what would it be?
I think that's a very broad topic in general. If I was going to narrow it down to more, I'd say school curriculum based, I'd say for all students, I'd like to see more life skills for all students, kindergarten through 12th grade. Things like time management skills, social skills, nutrition. I think if you're going to focus just at the high school level, again, sort of on the same topic, I'd like to see, preparing children better, the children better for adulthood, and looking at financial responsibilities, how credit card debt works, how to manage budgets. I think it's a lost art form, kind of like home economics was when I went to school. I think there's some lost skills there that could really help kids as they move on. I think a lot of students go into college and they don't really understand those things, and I don't think it's taught thoroughly enough in the school.
Very interesting. And what experience do you have in education?
It's interesting. I don't have any experience in education. And I look at, I think the interesting thing about it is when you look at majority of school committees, and including some of the candidates running, is you have a lot of educators or former educators. And, for me, I think I bring more of a diverse skill set to the group with my background in business and leadership. If you think about the school district has hundreds of educators, principals, superintendents. So for me, I sort of bring something different, which is the ability to be able to plan, organize, and execute plans, and really listen to people and bring people together.
Got it. And what policies are most important to you to get passed, other than the life skills part that you already talked about?
Well, when I look at, I think when you look at policies, for future policies, I think the strategic plan will uncover some things that need to be changed. But in terms of what's on the docket today for the policies, if you review on the recent school committee, which policies are being looked at, most of the corrections or adjustments are, more clerical minor items. I think if you looked at that group, me personally, I think the attention to the alcohol, tobacco, and drug use prohibition within the school, I think I liked the way the new proposed policy would bring a little more clarity to it, explain the policy and the process in more detail, give parents an opportunity to better understand it. And then I think it really talks a lot about ensuring confidentiality. I think those things, to me, I thought that was the most impactful one of what's on the docket today.
So now I have some questions that are more about some specific things that have been coming up recently.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure if you were at this meeting, but the Diversity and Culture Club at the Minnetonka School has recently spotlighted some of the issues that the school has been facing with diversity, equity, and inclusion. How would you address these problems as a school committee member?
Well, I think first off, I have a lot of experience with it. I've lived throughout the East Coast, from Maryland, Virginia. I grew up in Pennsylvania, so I have a lot of experience in business with diversity in my 20 years. I've been a part of Women's Professional Development Council that helped hire, promote, and develop more women in the workplace. I've been a part of diverse hiring initiatives as well. So I would sort of take that approach into the schools. I think the first thing I'd want to do is sit down with the students. I think that's the key thing is listen to students and find out, listen to some of these things that have been spotlighted. I would, I'd support us doing some type of a workout, like sort of a Six Sigma workout, and talk about what the issues are, and work with the students to develop plans. I think the key, most important thing for a leader, and I see myself as a servant leader, is to listen. So I think listening and understanding is a real key. Beyond that, I would definitely support. I heard the students loud and clear. They really want a guidance counselor that looks like them, somebody they can really connect to. I heard them loud and clear. I think until we have that, I think one item we could do is take some of the diverse faculty and maybe align them as mentors to help the students. I would also support, maybe a group of the school districts getting together and doing what most major businesses do, which is hiring someone to be in charge of diversity and inclusion. And maybe, you have 4 different school districts put funds together, and you hire somebody externally to help with diversity and inclusion within the school district. So those are a couple things that, I would recommend and support.
All right, so I have one last question for you, which is also one of the current issues. What role do you
Yep.
think schools should play and school committees should play in assisting students with mental health issues?
I think schools should play a critical role in mental health. I know it's a hot topic, and as I look at the subject, I'm not an expert on it, but from what I've read and seen, I think COVID has really contributed to some of the depression and things that students face today. And I don't think that just the school should play a critical role, though. I see the entire community playing a big role. And in my business, I'm actually working with. There's a colleague of mine down in Miami, Florida, who created a nonprofit called Mind Power, and it's a group, a nonprofit dedicated to mental health for children, and he specializes in student athletes. And what it does is he's aligned clinical psychologists for virtual sessions with students at a discounted price, at a discounted rate. And then what he does is he helps raise money, and that money goes directly towards sessions for the students. They have a 5K event in Miami, Florida next week. I've started talking to some business and community leaders about doing something in our town the same way. We could link up with that organization. I'd see us doing a 5K event, right through the heart of town, and raising some money and putting it towards I think there's some good systems in place and some really good organizations that we could work with to piggyback off that.
Well, that sounds really interesting. Thank you so much for your time, and best of luck to you and all the other candidates on the election.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for coming. Have a great day.